Well, the preparation begins for this weekend's Cottage Grove 360 Sprint Car Spring Fling. Welcome back though to today's video. If you guys are new to the YouTube channel, my name is Tanner Holmes. I'm a 17-year-old outlaw kart and sprint car driver from here in Southern Oregon. And more importantly, I just absolutely love to race. I happen to drive this sprint car that's here sitting behind me. And I also love to document all my experiences in the sport right here on my YouTube channel. This is a really fun way for me to bring an audience in to follow along with my journey, and you guys get to ride along with me. So you saw our little edit there before the video started. We had a little bit of a shop day here on this Tuesday morning / afternoon. We had to pull the 410 out because we ran that down at the Keller Auto Speedway in Hanford, California, where we ran 5th just a couple weeks ago. Then Carly ran the Limited this last weekend. She got to do her first race of 2021, which she did phenomenal. So she ran, I had a weekend off, and I got to go with her and coach her, shoot a video, do all the social media side of things while she was racing. And then now, like I said, we've been working in the shop to get the 360 in for this weekend's Spring Fling at the Cottage Grove Speedway, which is gonna pay $1,500 to win on Friday night, and Saturday night is gonna pay $2,500 to win. So a pretty solid payout, which is exciting for our Pacific Northwest guys. I know Skagit's also gonna be racing on Saturday, which kinda sucks because they're gonna be competing against each other. And I know I've went through this a couple of times on the YouTube channel, but I wanted to explain for anybody that's new or missed that, just a couple things that were going on at that edit at the beginning. So the first part was you guys saw us pull the 410 out, and in sprint cars, doing an engine swap is actually not that complicated. No matter if it's a 305, a limited engine, a 360, or a 410, they all go in the car or come out the same way. Each engine is bolted to the frame on the left and the right side, as you can see. So that's how it's held in the front. And then on the back side of the motor plate, we actually have 6 bolts, 4 regular and 2 long ones that tighten right into the back side of the motor. So this makes it easy if you have a problem at the racetrack, or like in our case, you know, at the shop, we're just switching motors from 410 to 360. You can just loosen those bolts and then hoist one of these engines out, and then actually hook up your other one and then hoist the other one and drop it back in. So during our shop day today, we did that. We also changed gears. That was the time lapse you saw here with the rear end. I just pulled the rear cover off, pulled out the set of gears that we had in it, and then put our new set in. The other thing that you probably saw us do in that edit was actually when there was no engine in the car. It was in the process in between both of them. And that actually has to deal with the torque tube, the torque ball, and the housing, which is all this right here. When there's no engine in the car, it's actually really easy to work with all this because there's no U-joint, there's no engine in the way. And re-greasing that torque ball is part of our regular maintenance, and it's just way easier to get to it when there's no engine in the car. So we always make sure to do that when we have that availability. Other than that though, we did a bunch of other small things in the race shop and just got this thing closer and closer to being ready to rip around the Cottage Grove Speedway for 2 nights this weekend. Or at least we're hoping to get both nights in. Hopefully Mother Nature is nice to us. Now, real quickly, after you guys are done watching this video, I highly recommend you go check out our podcast channel, and specifically the new episode that just dropped today at 3:30 with Carly. We talk about all the behind the scenes stuff that happened on Saturday that did not make it in the vlog. And we also have a lot more big guests that are going to be joining us in the coming Wednesdays, so the link will be at the top of the description to check out our podcast. Anyway, let's get on with the video. So the second half of this YouTube video is going to be more informative than anything. A lot of you guys have been asking us to release our schedule for 2021, and this is just going to be a rough idea on where we're going to be at. A lot of the dates that are coming up through May and June are 100% where we're going to be racing, but as we get into July, we have some options, but we are at least going to be in the area of where these tracks are. For example, if you guys want to come watch us and it says we're going to be in Kansas City, Kansas, if we end up racing somewhere else, it's probably going to be close to that track. It's not like if it says we're racing in Kansas, we're racing in New York on that night. And also, for some reason, if this schedule does change, which I'm sure it's going to, just so many factors kind of play into us being at all these certain racetracks. If you guys follow us on social media or are tuned in to all the videos, we will be letting you guys know ASAP where we're going to be, if we're changing to a different track or a different state or whatever. So follow us, stay tuned, and we will be letting you guys know. So the game plan as of right now, after we run the 360 this weekend at the Cottage Grove Speedway, we will be back at the Cottage Grove Speedway for May 1st. That's a Saturday with Carly in the Limited. So the following weekend after May Day, we will have 2 more nights of racing with ISCS. Friday the 7th will be at the Cottage Grove Speedway, and Saturday the 8th will be at the Coos Bay Speedway over on the coast. After that, we head back down south for the Peter Murphy Classic, one of the biggest races in California, and that'll be the 14th and the 15th of May. Friday will be at the Colorado Speedway, and Saturday will be at the Tulare Thunder Bowl. We aren't 100% sure if we're going to be running the 360 wing car or the 410 wing car for that. Or I guess some people might even be running both. Now, the weekend after the Peter Murphy Classic, we are going to be at the Grays Harbor Raceway for the 22nd. And actually that night, it looks like we're going to try to run myself in the 360 and Carly in the Limited. That will be one of the couple times this season where we actually do that. And I think that's just going to be a weekly show. So that's the 22nd, then the 29th and 30th. That's a double header at the Cottage Grove Speedway, just the limited class. And then the next 2 Saturdays, we're once again at the Cottage Grove Speedway. That's the 5th and the 12th of June. One of those being a 360 race, the other one of them being a limited show. And after that, this is now when our schedule really starts to ramp up and we're going to be seeing a ton of fans as we travel. So after we run at the Cottage Grove Speedway for a couple of weekends in a row, we start competing with the ASCS National Tour. That's going to be at the Grays Harbor Raceway for 2 nights, June 18th and 19th for the Fred Brownfield Classic National Races. Then the following weekend, the ASCS National Swing continues to go through the state of Washington as we compete at the Dirt Cup at the Skagit Speedway for 3 nights. Those 3 nights of the Dirt Cup are going to be June 24th, 25th, and 26th. After that, we're going to continue our national swing as they actually go out of Washington and into Idaho. And that track is known as the Blue Valor Speedway, I believe. 2 nights of racing, and that's in Emmett, Idaho. So after we race in Emmett, it looks like we're going to continue to head east and race for 2 nights in Montana at the Gallatin Speedway, also known as Belgrade. Never been there. I've been to the 2 other racetracks in Montana, Electric City and Big Sky Speedway, but have never been to Belgrade. And I said this is where our schedule ramps up. Well, now it actually goes even farther up again. We plan on continuing to head east, but also south a little bit, and we're going to compete at the US 36 Raceway in Osborne, Missouri. I believe that is a national race, and after we compete in Osborne, we're actually going to run a Knoxville show, a weekly race at Knoxville to try to get some practice for some of their bigger events just a couple weeks later. We're not sure if that's going to be a 360 or a 410 race. We will decide as we get closer. After we race at Knoxville, the following weekend, July 23rd and 24th, we race the Lake Ozark Speedway in Eldon, Missouri. Those are All-Star Circuit of Champion 410 sprint car races. So we run 2 nights at Lake Ozark, then we run at the Humboldt Speedway in Humboldt, Kansas, which I believe, if I'm thinking of the right track, is a tiny bull ring. After those races, we are going to tag the back of ASCS Sprint Week, which we ran in 2020, and that is going to be at the Caney Valley Speedway in the 81 Speedway. Then we are going to run actually 2 more nights with the All-Star Circuit of Champions in Burlington, Iowa. Or West Burlington, I should say. That is the 34 Raceway on July 30th. And then on July 31st, we actually run Knoxville again. And that is with the All-Star Circuit of Champions. After that, we're going to probably drop back down to run Lakeside, which I think might be the finale of ASCS Speed Week. We ran really good there last season. That's a smaller half mile. So that is right there at the end of July, beginning of August. Lakeside is on the 3rd of August. After that, we have a couple days off, and then we actually run the Knoxville 360 Nationals with ASCS. That is the 6th and the 7th, and then on the 8th, we actually run at Knoxville as well. I believe that's the Capitani Classic. After we run the Capitani Classic, we actually head to Oskaloosa, the Southern Iowa Speedway. And that is also going to be a 410 race. So all of this is happening in just a couple of weeks. It's definitely going to be a lot of racing. After we run at the Southern Iowa Speedway, I know some of you guys are going to be saying, Tanner, why are you guys not staying at Knoxville for the 410 Nationals? There's still a possibility we might. We're just going to see how this trip goes, play it by ear. We just kind of plan that, you know, we might have ran all those races. We have to see where our equipment's at, see where everything's at, to see if we're prepared for the biggest sprint car race of the season. So right now then we would just head home because that gives Carly an opportunity to race. We get home and we run ISCS Speed Week, which is going to be at the Coos Bay Speedway on the 16th, the 17th of August at the Cottage Grove Speedway. Then they have 2 nights to be added on the 18th and 19th, and the 20th and 21st will be at the Grays Harbor Speedway to finish off the ISCS Week of Speed. Then we would have a weekend off, which I think would be our first weekend off since all of this started. Then actually for Labor Day weekend, we have 3 nights with the World of Outlaws at the Skagit Speedway for their big $25,000 to Win race, so that's all World of Outlaws shows. Then after that, we head to Elma, also with the World of Outlaws, so that will be 4 straight races with the greatest show on dirt. That's the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th of September. Then on September 11th, we just have a Cottage Grove 360 race. Then we head back to the Midwest for our final weekend, and that's the ASCS National Tour, the Hockett-McMillan Memorial in Wheatland, Missouri, at the Diamond of Dirt Tracks, the Lucas Oil Speedway. After that, we have some time off. We're not going to be racing as much. That's usually when the rain starts to come. The season's ending. And then we have the Tulare Thunderbolt for the 360 Trophy Cup, 3 nights, October 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. And our season finishes off at the Keller Auto Speedway in Hanford, California, on October 29th. That's a KWS 410 race. And our final race of the season at the Kern County Speedway in Bakersfield, California on October 30th. Busy schedule. The whole link to it will be down below in the description, so you guys can go look at it for yourself, or you can just kind of rewatch this. That's a lot of races, a lot of time together in the motorhome, a lot of time on our equipment. And I'll say it one more time, a rough idea on where we want to be, but I'm sure things are going to change and some of those races will get missed out on, but also some races will get added. And I think this is another great opportunity. If you guys want to be a part of some of these races or jump on for the whole season, definitely send me a message. We have plenty of room to add more marketing partners, and I think this would be a pretty cool schedule to be a part of with our awesome team. But that's all I got today. Thank you guys once again for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next one, and hopefully you're ready for our busy 2021 schedule and all the content coming your way. See you all in the next one. Deuces.